So you can see, oh, there's a cat trying to catch a fly. So you can see that I leave like a gap on every second page. So here it's quite a large gap. Then the next one, there's hardly any gap. Hardly any gap. Okay, so now you can see that I have sewn all of the pages together. So I've left the top one has 5 centimeters, I don't know, here. And then on the back one, it's cut so that it has the same width all the way around each border. So it's only one layer on the large part, and it's always on the top one. So you can see again here, it's cut so that we've got the border. So each of them are exactly the same now, and they've all been sewn on. Okay, so the next thing I have to do is take the first page and then the last page and line them up. So I overlap the back page onto the front page, you can see here. So that large part now overlaps with the back of this large part. And I make sure that this lines up straight, so I have to cut it straight. Also, another thing that I realized I needed to explain is why I cut the back one but not the front one. It's because if I was to have both the back and the front with this long extra part, then it would make it even thicker. And because I'm working with felt, then the spine of the book would be really, really thick and really difficult to work with when I sew it together, bind it. So that's the reason that I overlap them like this. I have one page left. I should have 2 for the middle. So what I'm going to do is actually join this one in here as well, because this is also the fucked up page, which has the little edge. This is actually kind of good for me. So I'm going to put this here and then put the purple over the top, so it will actually cover 2 now. Yeah, whoopsies. You can see that I have put all of the pages together, and now I can work out what length each of them should be, because when it folds, it changes these edges. So I have to make sure that the one in the middle is smaller than the one at the back, needs to be wider. Okay, so here is the book. These are just the inside pages. There's no front cover yet, but you can see I've sewn around each page so that the spine has the overlap, and it's a little bit dodgy, but for the most part it's relatively even. It's pretty bad. Okay, so now you can see this is going to be my front and back cover. So I've marked out the square that is the correct size for the actual cover and the back cover, and this is the gap that's required so it wraps around the whole book. I measured it because now I have like the whole book at the correct sizes each page. One side's purple, the other side's pink. What I'm about to do is measure up the core board that I'll put inside of the pocket. So like I did with this one, you can see it's quite thick. There's a piece of core board actually inside there, and it's just the size of that. There's 2 big square pieces on the back and the front, and then there's a thinner part that goes through the spine. Okay, so now what I've done is I've sewn the book pages onto the inner part of what will be the front and back cover. So there's just one line of sewing directly through all of the layers. So I went all the way through here. Okay, so you can see that I have now done the front cover and the back cover. So now I'm going to sew these together, but what I need to do is attach the spine first of all. So you can see here, I've got a piece of foam core, and I'm going to put that here and then sew around it. So I've sewn in the spine now, you can see, and once I had that in, then I was able to place the next piece of foam core in the front cover as well. So what I do is once I've got the spine in, then I fold it so that it's, you know, like a book, like how it should be. And then I put in the piece of foam, making sure that the fold is correct. Then pin it, and then I'll sew. What I did was I sewed along all of these sections of the book, and then I cut it evenly off so that there was an even seam around both the top and the bottom. You don't have to do this, but I just do this. It's like an aesthetic thing. I add this colored part onto the book turning page. So that's literally, I've just got like a piece of felt and I've wrapped it around, and then I've just like sewed it on onto the edges. It makes a nice, like, you know, it, like, instead of it being kind of shitty like these ones, like it's like a nice edge. And also then I can control the length of the book or width of the book so that it covers all of the pages properly. So yeah, there's my book. That's my how-to.